Hey everybody, Cookie and Swanee here with another podcast. The patch notes are out for the new Han Solo season, which will begin tomorrow, and there's quite a bit of changes to go over. And this will be a little different than our normal patch notes podcast, because obviously it's been out for a little bit, but we do want to hit on the major points of it, and of course we want to hit on something that was very different about these patch notes as opposed to other patch notes, which is a random Easter egg, maybe, where it just randomly had Geonosis in the patch notes, and that's it. Just says Geonosis, then they throw it off as a typo, so we're going to talk about that as well. So let's actually start there, Swanee. What in the world was the Geonosis thing for? Do you actually... what do you think's the strategy here? Because there's no way that's a mistake. What are they doing?
Yeah, well, in the past, they've said that these patches take forever to get approved by everybody. And at least that's what the excuse was months ago when we went like an entire month without any news or anything. Before we had been, the excuse was always, oh, it has to go through Disney, it has to go through EA, it has to go through DICE, it's got to go through everybody. So, unless, like, they just didn't read this, or like Ben just typed it up afterwards and everyone was like, yeah, we already know it's in the patch, you're good to go. Like, maybe they don't read the patch notes itself, they just looked over the patch and Ben just did this on his own. But yeah, there's no way that this is a mistake, especially if they aren't going to add Geonosis to the game. Then why would you type in Geonosis? Like, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, for those that aren't aware, there was that leak that came out about a week or two ago about there being about the DICE developers working on Geonosis to hopefully come out, I don't know, sometime maybe this fall, and a lot of other things were included in that leak as well. So, I mean, the best I could figure is it's a quiet nod to that leak saying, yes, that's true. The only problem with that is Geonosis is about the only good thing about that leak, because the rest of it's pretty depressing. So, yeah.
Well, didn't they say we'd get Obi-Wan and Grievous too?
No, they said we get. They
leak?
did say we get epic Grievous skin, so obviously we have Grievous. They didn't say anything about Obi-Wan, but you would assume Obi-Wan would be included as well. It's a very strange thing because mostly that leak is crapping all over EA. So if this is Ben or somebody else's way of quietly saying yes, that leak is true, they're very pissed at EA because this paints EA in a horrendous light. If that leak is true, so it's very weird.
It also means we're not getting any significant content until like August.
Which, honestly, at this point, almost seems positive because things look so depressing right now. It's almost positive to think we're ever going to get any significant content. So.
Oh yeah, if we get like Geonosis with Obi-Wan and Grievous and clone customization skins and stuff, that would seem like an ass ton of content compared to what we have been getting in the past 6 months.
They used to be considered just customary. Now it's considered like, oh my god, let's throw a celebration. So yeah, we're in a very different time.
That's the bare minimum too. Like, that would have been the bare minimum. 2 heroes, a map, some skins. Like we just haven't gotten any reinforcements. We haven't gotten any new star cards. Haven't gotten any new vehicles, new blasters. Nothing.
Nope.
So,
yeah.
So if they give us just 2 heroes and a map, that would seem like it would be enough because we haven't gotten anything in comparison. But in reality, it's still not that much content.
In reality, it's not. But it would be nice. It just doesn't make sense. Like everything with the communication of this game has been fucked up. To be honest. It's been completely weird. It's just another weird communication that I don't really know what to make of it. I'm gonna go ahead and guess they're at least working on Geonosis. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be getting it. But I think it's safe to assume they're at least working on it. I don't know when we'll get it, but that's the best I can take out of this little whatever you want to consider Geonosis randomly being in the patch notes for a little bit. So
Yeah, it's kind of hard to accidentally type in a made-up word.
yeah, it's not like it was close to any other word. It was under Starfighter Assault. I don't know what they were doing. All right, but with that said,
All right, well, let's discuss the patch.
yeah, there are actually patch notes, and there are some pretty significant changes to these patch notes as well. I think the one we should start on is something we have been desperately pining for a very long time, and that is the Palpatine nerf. It is here, and it is strong. Palpatine's health regeneration has been knocked down from 300 to 250. They reduced the amount of health regenerated by the Lightning Absorption Star card by 5 on all rarities, and they reduced the targeting angle from dual hand lightning from 14 to 10. That's a pretty hefty nerf for old Palps. So,
Yes.
is it too hard?
It's kind of too little too late, since a lot of people aren't playing the game anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But those people that think they're really good because they pick the officer every match, then pick Palpatine right off the bat and go around wrecking people, enjoy your time while it lasts. You have the rest of this day to enjoy your broken Palpatine.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm so glad they finally nerfed him. He would make me just not want to play the game anymore. Him alone, because he was so broken. Because as soon as you saw him, you just got insta-killed and he'd have full health.
Yeah, his health regeneration was completely out of control. It's almost like the Bosk of the first Battlefront. Except he's not supposed to be like that at all. So yeah, there's super
Palpatine
broken.
doesn't have a healing power in the movies.
That'd have been interesting.
Let's talk about Phasma.
Mm-hmm.
They changed Phasma's strikes. Now they do a little bit less damage, but they're apparently easier to hit people, and they're easier to chain your swing attacks together.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting out of this is just that you actually hit people now. Before you would swing, take 5 seconds to swing, and you would just miss and then get wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this fixes that.
Yeah, they've been trying to make Phasma's staff strikes useful for a really long time, and it's been overall a messed up power. But I guess this will maybe make it fun to use. It just, I don't know.
Let's talk about Luke. Luke got a huge buff. Luke's going to be maybe the new Palpatine, because Luke can heal himself too, but oh man, Luke's lightsaber attacks are changed. He had a slightly slower swings than other saber users, which I pointed out multiple times with Rey, because Rey can swing really quickly, which makes Rey really hard to face. Now Luke's going to be pretty crazy. So Luke can swing faster. Well, no. He can't swing faster. It's reduced the cost of melee for Luke, increasing his max amount of swings from full stamina from 8 to 10. So now he can swing more before he gets worn out, I guess.
Yeah. And Rey kind of had that
But they
too.
increased his push.
Her stamina's really high.
Let me see. What did they do to his push? Added non-hero specific damage to Luke's push at 150. So it does 150 damage to infantry when you push them. So that one-shots the assault and the officer. Doesn't quite one-shot the heavy, but it just instant kills them now. It does more damage from 65 to 90 for heroes, so that's pretty big. And then Repulse does 130, so it'll one-shot snipers.
Everything.
And almost one-shot. Everything. Those poor snipers.
They get killed by everything.
And then increase the damage from 50 to 75 for heroes. So Repulse actually does something now. The push will one-shot snipers and assault, and he does damage to heroes. And then his dash. After dash, there's a slight delay before you can start running again. Well, now you can run a half a second or so faster than you could after dashing. So now you can be extra speedy with Luke.
I'm okay with that change, because that is annoying. His rush wasn't much of a rush, because he would just sit there after he was done. But the rest of it, I didn't feel like Luke needed a buff. I thought he was a relatively well-balanced character after they buffed him the first time, like a few months ago. I just didn't think this was really necessary at all.
No.
I didn't think anybody was really asking for this.
His repulse needed some fixing, but I think his push was okay. His repulse did like no damage. You just get shat on when you did that animation because they wouldn't take any damage and you just get shot all to hell.
Yeah, I thought he was a little overpowered in Heroes vs. Villains, so now I think he's going to be extremely overpowered in Heroes vs. Villains. But there is some. We'll talk
really
about that
nerfed
in a minute.
Leia's. They nerfed Leia's secondary fire.
Yeah, they did.
Finally.
They did, but I don't know if they did it the way it needs to be done. I mean, like, because it still feels like on Crate, she won't be able to one-shot everybody. But she's still... The problem is, like, on maps like Crate or maybe Hoth, although Hoth isn't quite as bad because it's not as flat, she's just completely unstoppable still on Crate. It's just... It just doesn't make sense. They need to, like... I think more of what needed to be done is she can't shoot as far as she can shoot. Because you can shoot from the other side of the map on Crate and kill people. I mean, that's wrong. That should not be that way.
Well, they took the damage from 175 to 145. So it would one-shot everybody except for heavies. But now it will, once again, one-shot snipers. But it will almost one-shot a full health assault class. Not quite, though. But then the explosion radius has gone from 2 to 1 meter, and then the targeting angle from 3.5 to 2. So, like, it'll still lock onto people at the same distance. It just won't cause as much explosion damage, and it won't do as much damage.
I feel like they just
But,
nerfed...
I mean, you can still sit in the back and spam.
I feel like they just nerfed the wrong part. It just shouldn't have the distance it has. I mean, I thought it was fine with doing the amount of damage it does, but you can't be able to do that from the other side of the map. I mean, you should have to be closer than she is.
Yeah, the same problem on Starkiller Base. They will pick her, and then they will just camp the second phase, where everybody's like defending that entrance, and they'll just sit in the back and just pop people as they walk out of their spawn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you. The distance just needed nerfed. I don't think really anything else needed nerf from her.
So this might... I mean, we'll see what happens, but it could potentially mess up Leia pretty badly. There's a bunch of random hero changes. I'm trying to think of which ones are super significant.
Lando can shoot faster now.
That's going to be really powerful. Because he's already pretty good, and he can already shoot pretty fast. So I'm a little surprised they buffed that.
Shoot even faster.
So he's going to be really good. And the Han Knight...
There is still no...
Too big.
There is no Iden Shield fix. There is no Boba Fett jetpack fix. There is no
Vader choke fix.
Han shoulder charge fix. And there is no Darth Vader choke fix. So...
We'll continue to advocate for that, I guess, until the day comes.
Well, I think that leak was pretty accurate when they said that most of the bugs they're aware of they just can't fix or won't fix. I think the Iden Shield and Han and Vader, and I think all those sort of fit under that category because, I mean, Boba Fett's jetpack has been breaking like that since launch, and it hasn't been fixed.
Yeah.
It's probably because it just happens, but it doesn't happen all the time. So they're not going to put it on their priority list, which kind of sucks because I hate when I'm on like a 60 kill streak with Boba Fett and then it just turns off and then I become a regular infantry that can't heal themselves.
Yep.
You just get shat on as Boba Fett.
Now,
what else?
they have this big change with lightsaber heroes in a couple different ways. Because first there were changes to the lightsaber air attacks and the lightsaber damage. In a way like in Heroes vs. Villains, at least, where you could jump in the air as a lightsaber-wielding hero and damage a hero who's defending with their lightsaber, and that would break it. They got rid of that, and I'm not sure that's necessarily a good thing, because there's a couple of characters on Heroes vs. Villains, including Luke or Rey or Darth Vader, that'll just block forever, and it feels like there's nothing you can do. The one thing you could do is jump and strike, and it would break it. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, although there were changes to dodge as well. So, I feel like this. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but I don't think that's going to be a good thing. Because I think if someone's deflecting too much when it comes to heroes versus villains, it just becomes kind of boring. And they seem to be able to do it for a really, really, really long time for no apparent reason. But they did adjust the dodge too, which I think is going to be kind of weird.
As long as you can get free from the stun lock of the lightsaber, or at least have a chance to get free, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they could just hit you, you're stunned, then they'll hit you a second time. Then your stun resets, and you just get stuck, and then you die.
Yeah.
So if you can at least have a prayer of escaping now, that's...
well, that's basically what it looked like. I mean, the dodge has been a weird thing since the game's been released, because at first it was a pain because the lightsaber heroes couldn't do anything because everybody would just dodge constantly. But now... it's not. I don't think it's a problem in Galactic Assault, but in Heroes vs. Villains, if you get hit once with a lightsaber, you're dead. I mean, you cannot. There is nothing you can do. There's no escaping, or it's incredibly hard to escape. And some people might think that's perfectly fine, but I think the dodge needed like a slight nerf on Heroes vs. Villains. I don't think it's a problem in Galactic Assault, but either way, they've changed the dodge now, or they buffed the dodge up a good bit for both of them. Heroes versus Villains and Galactic Assault. So that could mess up the dodge again, back to the problem it was before. So that could be interesting.
And it'll be interesting to see these new hero changes in this new 2v2 game mode that they're adding.
Yeah.
Which is a permanent game mode. I don't know if we said that.
No, we haven't gotten over that yet.
Yeah, so they're adding that 2v2 Heroes versus Villains, which I think is a pretty dumb thing that we're getting that anyway. But that's beside the point. But we're probably going to play it just to test it out until it gets old. So we'll play it for about a day. And it'll be interesting to see just how these heroes interact with each other. Because it's an elimination game mode, so you have to go through all the heroes.
Yeah.
So it might be pretty cool. But if the servers are as horrible as Heroes vs. Villains, where you have to wait like 5 minutes to find one person... I'm assuming, like, if you play with a friend, it'll be okay. But if you're just searching for randos, I don't know how that's going to go.
How that never got fixed. It's still ridiculous to me. Because, I mean, Heroes vs. Villains, there's not a lot wrong with that game mode. But the massive thing wrong with it is you can't get in the freaking game mode. Because I really like the changes they made between Battlefront 1 and 2. But, my God, you could be waiting 20 minutes.
To close out the podcast, let's stray away from the patch notes and bring up how one of the modders added conquest mode to the game.
So I've noticed.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. If you have a PC, go download that mod, because one modder out there obviously cares about the game more than the people that make the game do.
Uninspired.
Because we've been asking for conquest mode. Uninspired Zebra, yeah, he does all kinds of stuff.
He does some pretty crazy modes.
Yeah, we've been asking for conquest mode since 2005, and since then we've gotten Ewok Hunt, and we've gotten Extraction for the first game, and we've gotten Strike, and we've gotten everything but conquest mode.
Yeah. And as far as I'm aware, this isn't data mined or anything. This is just made by the modder.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't something DICE did at all, as far as I'm aware. So...
Yeah, I don't know why they never have done that. Just adding conquest mode would get people pretty excited again. But, oh well.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just have to wait till Season 3 to see if we get significant content.
I don't know. The future is so up in the air right now. But I mean, yeah, they kind of have us in a state of just complete confusion at this point.
Like, I haven't played this game since last week. Since, like, right after it was announced, Season 2, we did one stream, and then I haven't touched it since then, because I just don't have the drive to play it, because there's nothing to unlock. Like, why am I saving up my credits? Just to get some skins to play on the same maps over and over? And I have everything leveled up, like, to purple, So there's just nothing for me left to do. So as much as I love Star Wars, there's just no reason to play it anymore until they add stuff.
Yeah, we can still hold on to hope
It's
that
a
something will happen.
catch-22.
That's
Yeah,
about it.
like they say they need money to make content, but no one's going to give them money unless they give us content.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird predicament.
Yeah, we're not donating to EA. That doesn't...
No, they have billions of
I think
dollars.
they're
They can
okay.
afford to make the content. Yeah.
You would think.
But that's going to do it for this podcast, guys. What do you guys think of the patch notes? What do you think of Season 2? Are you guys excited for what's going to come out tomorrow? Let us know down in the comments. Check out our second channel, Foul Play. We've been pooping out more videos there more frequently now that Star Wars is kind of dying. But there is a new video that Cookie just did, and it should be live right now. And that's going to do it for us, and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.
How convenient to have you all together. You saved me the trouble of hunting you down. The First Order will conquer you all. Soon we will reclaim the galaxy. Perhaps you'll take part.